5 years old and holding his immigration number, already sporting his signature steely glare.
When I walk out, my old man's next to me. He's a hard man, my old man, still is today. But he's the one that kept saying to me, no, you can keep doing what you're doing. You're going to love this game and you're going to make it to the very top.
A Greek immigrant, Ange came from nothing.
Postecoglou has to score this. This one, it's another. The captain gets it in off the underside of the crossbar.
A decent player, but not legendary. 0 connections, 0 advantages, nothing but his sense of belief and, at times, unbridled passion.
We cannot this league like that. This not be there. Stop!
From manager of the relegated Whittlesea Zebras, he rose. Promised just 3 games as caretaker coach of South Melbourne, he quit his bank job and went all in, taking first them,
South Melbourne are back-to-back champions of Australia.
then the Brisbane Roar,
Brisbane are the champions.
and then the Socceroos to victory.
Australia has done it. The Socceroos, kings of the continent.
In the Japanese league, he helped Yokohama F. Marinos break a 15-year title drought.
One of the most spectacular triumphs.
And yet, Postecoglou was doubted at every stage.
I'm not sure what you mean by jump, but I'm assuming you're saying I worked at a lower level or some lesser level. I was still on the same planet, mate. I haven't come from outer space.
Openly ridiculed as he took on the Celtic gig in Scotland.
Let's not beat about the bush. I was a joke. And I was appointed.
Was it Postecoglou to manage in Europe?
A lot of people made fun of my appointment.
Oh, this has got to be a wind-up.
He proved the doubters wrong yet again, lifting 5 trophies in just 2 seasons.
Celtic are the Scottish champions again.
I will apologise live right now. Ange, different class. What a job you've done. Fantastic. And I take it all back.
Now, the Aussie legend is set to ascend to the very top, the English Premier League, just as his dad predicted.
When the opposition are looking across at you, they're not just looking at you, they're looking at what made you. They're looking at the people who made you. He just gave you the most enormous love and belief that, you know what, I don't give a what happens to me, what people say about me, what challenges I have, I'm going to make them. Oh, enjoy your lunch.
That's goosebumps stuff. Max Rushton is a football host with The Guardian and Stan Sport, and he joins us now. Max, are you inspired now to do the interview of your life?
Honestly, I was listening to that and I've watched it quite a few times in the last 24 hours and think, why was my dad just so relaxed? And he went, well, do what you like. Doesn't matter. I don't mind. I could have been an elite football manager. I could be a multi-millionaire. Instead, I'm just standing in my tiny garden talking to you. Look, it's such great news for him. It's such great news for Australian soccer. And there are a lot of football managers who aren't great men, and I think he is a great man. And I think it's a brilliant appointment for Tottenham. My dad is a massive Tottenham fan. They're my big team who win things, who don't actually win things. And I'm super excited. And maybe it's just because I've been brainwashed by everybody here, but I think it's a brilliant appointment, and I'm delighted for him.
Max, there'd be a lot of people who have never thought about Tottenham in their lives. Can you explain to them, and possibly me, how big a deal this is?
OK, so Tottenham they're one of the big 6 in inverted commas. They didn't actually finish in the top 6 this season, but they also have a reputation of being something called Spursy, right? Which is messing it up at the last minute, giving people hope, but actually failing. They don't really actually win that many trophies. They haven't won anything since 2008, the League Cup. So he sort of comes into a club, and they're a complete shambles at the moment. Their last 2 managers, Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho, were both paid buckets and were born winners who won everywhere until they got to Tottenham. Tottenham has a habit of ruining people. It could ruin Ange, but I've just got a good feeling about it.
Oh, well, I love that positive. That was great. That was very...
It was such a Spursy answer, Max.
That was like as good as Ange's motivational speech.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Who's going to be watching that
just
speech
when you're doing this
in?
show, when you're doing this show, don't think of just yourself. Think of the people who stood next to you and said, you can do it. Believe in yourself. I won't swear because I don't believe that's
Max. Let it
the
go.
etiquette. When I will, you can bleep it out. But just believe in yourself. And I think the rest of the show will be be better than it's already been.
Now, Max, what's been the reaction in the UK? Because I think on paper, an Australian coaching a big Premier League team, I feel like there's going to be some doubters, especially in England. So is he facing the same doubts that he has at every stage in his career?
Exactly. Yeah, and there is this weird kind of... it probably is like xenophobia in England, in the UK, about anybody with an American or an Australian accent talking to them about football, right? It's a bit like I have an English accent, so you think I'm an authority, when actually what I'm saying now is complete garbage. But there is this idea, right, that just the phraseology is slightly different, the words people use are slightly different. So there is that kind of ridiculous attitude, I think, to Americans and Australians. And it isn't easy to win stuff in the Premier League because, there are lots of big clubs. So it's hard to define what success would actually mean for Ange. But Tottenham have been playing absolutely terrible football for about 3 or 4 years. And if he just has a midfielder who can pass it, I think Spurs fans will be happy.
Well, that's a low bar, but I'm glad that we think we can keep it clear.
It is.
Hey, Max, you mentioned a couple of times Spurs are a mess. They really are a mess, and it's mostly to do, it seems, with the ownership and just everything falling apart behind the scenes. So Ange walks into this situation where it feels like nothing is going to help him. Can he overcome that?
I think so. I mean, I think it's a good time to come in because it's such a shambles. The expectations aren't quite as high as if you take over from a manager who's perhaps moved to a bigger club and has been successful. And it's actually a very similar shambles to what he found when he got to Celtic. So he could turn it around there, he can turn it around at Spurs. I mean, it's the hope that kills you, right? There's no guarantee of success. So I can't remember what the question was now, but just believe in yourself.
Do you know what was great? Was you answered it in an English accent, so I thought it was very authoritative indeed.
There you go. That's all you need to do, right?
All right, Max, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Anytime.